were back in Lafayette, Louisiana, and what would a tailgate party be without the quarterback's dad, who played a little football himself back in the day? And Chet, God, you seem so calm, but I know your inside's got to be churning, huh?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got nerves, but I tell you, being around this team and watching them over the last 10 weeks or so, they kind of take on the persona of just whatever's next man up, and it's been a pleasure to watch them. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
My friend Roy Sternfels from Napoleonville told me a story today. You and your dad, Julius Sternfels, played quarterback at Tulane in 1965. Late 70s, early 80s, every day, Julius Sternfels has Chet, Highway 308 in Napoleonville, running quarterback drills when he's 6'8", 10 years old. Chet goes on to be the EDY quarterback in what years?
88 to 90.
Wasn't there a 12-0 season in there?
There was, yep. 1990, our senior season, we were 12-0 going into the quarterfinals.
All right, so your son doesn't show up as a 10th grader, dropped off the planet Mars, never played quarterback before. You telling me your dad, Julius, and you didn't start teaching him at a young age?
Well, I mean, early on, we were always involved in athletics. Jake was a kid who played everything, still plays basketball.
Coach Keith?
That's right. And honestly, Jake never played quarterback before he was in 8th grade. He played a little bit in 8th and 9th grade. Before then, he was kind of a wide receiver, played a little bit of defense, playing flag football. But you could see when Jake got to around 12 or 13 years old, he was going to have a little bit of talent. And Jake's a kid who he's not going to necessarily watch a whole bunch of sports on TV, but he's a kid who's not going to be outworked. So he loves the weight room. He's a real cerebral, kind of introverted kid, and just glad to see him have success.
I'll tell you what I saw last year when Jake was in 9th grade, and between 8th and 9th grade. My son Caleb and Ethan Schwanya were the captains of the basketball team. His son Jake makes the varsity basketball team summer between 8th and 9th grade. You can play for Coach Keefe, and he lets you play guard, and he lets you play varsity. What I was impressed about Jake was when we were playing basketball against the athletes from St. James, Lutcher, Patterson, you saw those games, Jake didn't take him long to get up to speed mentally to these athletes on the varsity basketball level. And I think that really helped him coming into this year, being used to the speed of these athletes on the football field. Tell us about playing multiple sports rather than focusing on one.
Well, I mean, as your kids went through it, at any school now, it's you got to be dedicated. So, they start June 6th. He's going to finish tonight, and tomorrow he's going to be at an EDY basketball game in New Orleans. Not playing, but he'll be watching.
It's against Patrick Taylor, because my son Caleb's been practicing with Coach Keefe and the team as an old man until your son and these football kids get back.
Yeah.
Now, one more thing. The big difference in EDY that I've seen is 10 years ago when my sons were playing, going to David Butler, Pro Athletic Performance, Brandon Butler, and doing that off-season core body training, people looked at us like, what are you doing, Doc? Chet has a program called Core. Year-round, that is now being implemented. And not only that, but they train the core for the position the kid plays on the team. Talk to us.
So a couple years ago, myself and Zach Case, and I can't go without saying how awesome Zach is. Zach's a certified strength and conditioning specialist from Morgan City, Louisiana, played at Northwestern.
Central Catholic High.
And Zach was a four-year letterman at Northwestern. He's an offensive lineman, played every position. He's a permanent team captain. So Zach and I, as a business model, kind of came up with a model that we could go into a school and basically start programming for every athlete, for every position, for every sport that they play. And so we actually, the way this started at ED White is when my son Jake was in 8th grade, they took it upon themselves to start doing workouts on Saturday. Zach and I talked to Kyle, said, hey, why don't you let us come in and at least show these kids how to properly lift? And it just kind of built from there. And then 2 years ago, Kyle reached out to us and Felt like his strength and conditioning was not where it needed to be. Worked with him one summer. That was summer of last year. And then the school invited us to come in. And so we actually go to school twice a week. And we program for each athlete. So when every athlete gets there August 15th or whatever day they start, their workouts are planned for the school year, based on what sports they play.
Well, I tell you what, Martin, here you go, brother.
All right, let me ask you something. We got about a minute left. Quarterback that had an undefeated season like yourself. Your son has an undefeated season. Did you tell him anything this week, or did you just stay away from saying anything?
Stay away. I've learned with Jake, he's a do-it-his-own self. So no, he and I talk a lot about how you feeling. Mentally, you're good, but we don't talk X's and O's at all. So,
And that's great advice.
yeah. So yeah, and it's Thrive. We've got a great relationship. I'm sure win or lose tonight, there's going to be tears, but it's awesome.
There you go. Now you see what it's all about. This is what it's all about. And Edie White getting ready for biggest game in a long, long time. We'll take a break from Lafayette. A lot more on HTV. Don't go away.